It keeps coming back to that one swar, which is the truest in him. I've used lines from that in Gunna. The recital of archaic verse comes from Abhirami Bhattar. In an audition, as a director, I would have chosen me for Girish Karnad's character. And probably a very proper looking Gunna. That's why I had to change my appearance. We grope about character. There's nothing magical or quick or scientific about it, at least not yet. There are all kinds of madmen. There are many methods, and there are many methods to madness. Whatever you thought that we did to make me look like a midget, we did, but not in the same order. You can't now anymore parochially divide cinema into 22 parts. It's all one part, and you'll understand. That's why Chaplin works for a boy from Paramakudi.
I just can't express myself, sir. I just love you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now we have taken questions from all the fans who have come here. We have taken their names. You can pick up the chips and yeah.
Would you like to read it? No.
Sure.
Karthik Adala. You have the... Okay. I don't want to mispronounce their surnames. So,
I wanted to ask you about your approach towards acting. The reason I'm asking is I've been Googling Kamal Haasan about acting, Kamal Haasan techniques, tips of Kamal Haasan on acting from the past 5 years. So recently I've dared to make a self-audition of Gunna's monologue, the first one. And I felt if I couldn't get close to you, at least I can get close to your character. But since now I'm lucky enough to ask you this question, I wanted to get some insights on how you develop conviction for different characters. Now Gunna is a character where he speaks with birds, he's always in the moment. So from where do you get the conviction to do it? That's all.
yeah, okay. Yeah, because it's not me to begin with. How do you fall in love? It's a strange, it's close to you, but it's something else. And the anatomy of the girl is different. It's not like your body. The difference itself is the first attraction. So when you see a person, the uniqueness of that character, even death or accidents for that matter, when you come home and describe an accident that you watch, you're almost imagine how would it be to die on the streets is the first thought that comes to your mind, and you even ask that of your friend. I saw a man lying on the street. I could see life ebbing away from him, and people were photographing him instead of helping him. We've seen those kind of sequences. So some people get intrigued as a writer of those guys who are photographing. That's Nightcrawler for you.
Yes.
Gyllenhaal's film where he is a photographer. And then there are people who are dying. That's Max Headroom for you. He comes back from there. So that's how first you get hold of a character. I am a non-believer. So I want to understand what is the happiness of that man who totally believes. No questions asked. For him, he is very confident. He is going towards a confluence with his Abhirami. He is very confident. No amount of logic or science is going to deter him from that direction. It is equal to love. He is not able to differentiate between love and bhakti. That intrigues me, especially as a non-believer. And I want to be kind to him. Instead of smashing his argument down and stomping on him, I want to tweak the wick and see what is that light he sees. And that's how first I get intrigued by a person who's the polar opposite of what I am. Then you find various people who are actually like that in the thing, and you pick up from them. The very fact that he calls his Parama Abhirami comes from a great saint among the Shaivite tradition called Abhirami Bhattar. I've used lines from that in Gunna. The recital of archaic verse comes from Abhirami Bhattar. So this develops my character. I've seen the film where S.V. Subbaiah plays Abhirami Bhattar. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but there he plays that eccentric Abhirami Bhattar. That's another clue for me. And I know many people who cry in temples. I used to visit temples till I was 10, 11. I was one of those slightly wonky guys who sang loud in temple. All my friends will move about 10, 15 feet away from me, not to be seen associating with me, because it's slightly wonky to sing in a temple and be moved like that. I was almost bordering on being Gunna. Later on, I woke up from a dream that Gunna couldn't wake up from. So these are the things that gives me a character. And then when you start writing it, getting into character, it's the writing part that gives me more insight into it. Otherwise, I must have a good writer. I also had good writers for dialogue and all that. Balakumar was with me in the film. We both used to engage, and we are polar opposites. He is a believer, I am a non-believer. We have arguments, but we are friends. We were friends. And so all this helped me build the character. And his own person, there is a therapist in the film, Mr. Girish Karnad. Actually, if at all, there is a probing character that what I deserve to play in that film is Girish Karnad, because that's what I was doing in the script. I was talking to Gunna, the neurotic person, and getting things out of him and writing it as a script. So truly, if I deserve in an audition, as a director, I would have chosen me for Girish Karnad's character. And probably a very proper looking Gunna. That's why I had to change my appearance for that, because I wasn't convinced that this face could be that man. So my demeanor, everything changed. And I think the high point came when Ilayaraja joined the gang. That Parthavadi defines Gunna's neurotic. He asked me, what is this neurotic psychopath kind of a thing? What is this? I said, from what I heard from doctors, they defy therapy. They start, seems like they're getting cured, then come back. It's a cycle they can't get out of. You can see that in the first therapy scene where he says, you must understand gravity. You will fall down, you can't fly. That's what you are. He shows a matchbox and drops it. And see, that's what you are. So he says no, and takes this cotton that was stuck here after the intravenous injection, and he takes and he starts blowing without letting it hit ground. He says, that's me, not that. So that is psychoneurosis of going around, and that is there in that Parthavadi. Parthavadi comes back to the same note. It keeps coming back to that one swar, which is the truest in him. It's a brilliant understanding of not only the writer, but the music director. So if you see the theme, and the only song in the film is not Kanmani Anbodu, but Parthavadi, which defines Gunna. So this is how we grope about character. There's nothing magical or quick or scientific about it, at least not yet. The next generation actor will have better answers to give you.
But sir, you go with the flow when it comes to acting. There are no those long workshops and.
Oh, no. I believe in that. I come from, actually, I'm a film actor, child actor who went to stage and then back to cinema. So my travel, I respect rehearsals a lot. And I'm a fan of Chaplin. I don't know how many of you have seen City Lights. So you remember the shot where the blind girl believes he's a rich man. To arrive on that scene, the take number was 400 plus. And 3 actresses changed roles. He was not happy with the first actress, fired her, got another actress. He was not happy with her, then rehired the actress at 3 times the price and reshot the scene, and he arrived on that particular scene, which convinced all of us about that misunderstanding. You're willing to accept that explanation. So I don't think I'm any good without rehearsals.
So the next one.
Gautam Menon.
All the best for Hindustani first. And I feel surreal to be present here along with you, first of all. So my question would be, like in Dasavathaaram, you have played 10 different characters. What was the one core thing that made every character stand out at the same time being Kamal Haasan himself?
Rangarajan Nambi is the closest, because not too much of makeup except a haircut, or I don't know what to call it, hair growing or haircut, both. So that's the closest. But the rest, the most enjoyable for me, even before you got to enjoy it, was Balram Naidu. And Balram Naidu also because I worked with a lot of Telugu people who admired the language Tamil. And they kept trying abortively. And I like them. Still have friends. For that matter, the original producer of Indian, Ratnam, A.M. Ratnam, speaks like Balram Naidu. But he gives bhashans on stage in Tamil, chaste Tamil, but somehow Telugu will creep in. So these are things I watched, and I like these people. So it came in easily and made me chuckle while performing. I had to hide my chuckle and perform for you. And the next best thing is for me, Fletcher. Fletcher had nothing to do with me. He's Caucasian, he's East European, if you can best pin him down to. I'm saying that confidently because my guru, Mr. Michael Westmore, decided to make him East European rather than European or American, because for him it will make his anthropologically easier for him to convert my faith to that. So that's a character I liked. And another one I'm fond of because that's an exact replica of my grandma. There's Krishna Party in that. Actually, we took the photograph and I showed it to Mr. Michael Westmore. I want to play her. And that's how we got it. So but there are other characters, like people might think that Govind is difficult. Actually, Govind is the closest to me. And he's a non-believer also. So it was very easy. There was very little acting involved there.
Thank you.
Arun Venugopal.
Vanakkam, sir.
Vanakkam.
As a fan of Ulaganayagan and Andavar and as a foot soldier of Nammavar, it's my Pentathol Malay moment, sir. It's my Pentathol Malay moment.
Okay.
To paraphrase Gunna. And also as a working actor, this is something I wonder, sir, given the disparate influences that you've had, right from Thiravai Shanmugam Avargal and all your asans in the Malayalam film industry to Balachandra sir and everything that you've picked up on, the influences are so varied, your literature that you have consumed is so heavy. Do you still lean on a certain method of acting. There is always the talk of a Stanislavski or a Meissner or all these methods. Or have you concocted one of your own?
There are all kinds of madmen. There are many methods, and there are many methods to madness. So, method should be there. Methodically, you approach even madness. So, I cannot decry method acting now, especially Stanislavski has put in so much work. An Actor Prepares is a great book, but it's a non-detailed study for me. You understand? I won't fully grasp his experience. It's non-detailed because that's the best you could do when you're writing the very first book on the subject.
And also, sir, my deepest gratitude to you, because I make a living out of what I do in commentary by basically picking on the phrases. You have been my Tamil Haasan, like how Kalangir or Kavingaraya or Nadigar Tilakam have been your mentors. You've been mine, and I make a living.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Karthik Lakshman.
சார் அதாவது இப்போ உங்ககிட்ட நான் பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கேங்கிறதே என்னால் சுத்தமாக நம்ப முடியல சார். உங்கள் படம் பார்க்காம நான் இருந்த நாளே இல்லை சார். எனக்கு சினிமாவில் எல்லாமே நீங்கள் தான் சார். ஆண்டவர், நாயகன். என்னால் சார் விக்ரம் படம் பார்த்துட்டு என்னால் அங்கேருந்து வெளியே எங்கள் ஆண்டவரை நாங்கள் மறுபடியும் பார்த்துட்டோம். லைக் ஹீ இஸ் பேக். எல்லாரும் இப்போ இங்கே இருக்க எல்லாருமே நிறைய பேர் விக்ரம் பார்த்துருப்பாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் விக்ரம், the further reach of Andavar made it so easier for me to speak about you, and there is only one Ulaganayagan, and it's you, sir. எல்லாருக்கும் உங்களை யாருன்னு காட்டணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டுட்டு இருந்தேன். கோடம்பாக்கத்தில் இருக்க எல்லாருமே உங்களை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டாங்க சார். இங்கே இருக்க எல்லாருமே வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்காக தான் சார். அங்கே இருக்க I just can't express myself, sir. I just love you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nitin Mirani.
Absolute big fan. I think you're looking fantastic today. Let's give a round of applause. I love your look. And so I've followed your work for many, many years. I'm a stand-up comedian. That's how I found myself as an artist. But I've seen your work from back in the day. I was an introvert growing up, but I watched a lot of your work. And I remember that my entire family used to... I'm from Dubai, so we used to watch your film on every Friday. There used to be a channel that used to only your films in Dubai. And I noticed, I think the best way to describe you from my heart is that you are the calm and you are the storm at the same time with all your performances. My personal favorite is Appu Raja, which I think I watch it once in 2 months. Just something that I
Thank
get
you.
people to... I can't find the making of the film at all.
But actually, I was talking to Mr. Sangeetham a few months back, I think, and we thought we owe it to students of cinema, as students of cinema,
Absolutely.
to tell them how we made it. Because it's so easy, the simplest thing, or so complicated if you don't fully explain it.
And that's what I sort of wanted to request you, if there is some way you could throw a little bit of light on how did you manage? Like, it was
Okay,
way ahead of
I'll
time.
go back and work on it with Mr. Sangeetham. And he's one of the youngest directors I know. He's only 94. So when someone asks me a question, how old is Indian? I go see Sangeetham Srinivasarao. He is still functional, sharp, and his Varma punches are stronger than Indian Senapati, because he talks and comes off the cuff with his punches. They asked him, why make films like that? He had only one answer, why not? So that's Sangeetham for you. I'll talk to him, and I can tell you that whatever you thought that we did to make me look like a midget, we did, but not in the same order.
Okay.
As simple as that too. Everyone here, they'll know that, they'll say that you would have bent your leg
That's what I thought you were.
காலை பின்னாடி மடிச்சுக்கிட்டு. What happens when he does this?
Okay.
That shot was kept there just to get you into a twirl. You know? Wow, how did he do that? And how does he sit in a sofa and get up?
Yeah, that jump off.
As a matter of fact, if we had, that is before the advent of VFX. Otherwise, we would have made him rope walk and pick cups up and stack it up on his head. We wanted to try even making him ride a motorcycle, but it was too complicated, and we didn't have the budget. So, and if you look at it, how do we make him walk the globe and jump off it? And there are other midgets sitting in a circus gallery.
Yeah.
And they all have the same length of legs and they walk on the gallery. So if I'm bending my leg, how are they walking in profile? If I'm burying my leg, how are they walking on a gallery with gaps in between? So these are the complications we created, and half of it is mechanical, half of it is cinema in-camera effects. All were in-camera effects. Singitam was assistant director in Maya Bazaar, the old Maya Bazaar. So we both spoke the same language. I worked in many Telugu films as an assistant, and it had a lot of trick shots in it. So I keep watching them doing those masking, as we call it. So we both spoke that language. You can see that in a film like Rajaparve, we would have used the masking technique, which is in camera. And today, what is done like magic on VFX takes time. Some of the dissolves in Rajaparve, the film, if you have seen it, are all in camera. Because laboratory dissolves don't look, it's sandy and you can anticipate a dissolve. So it was done, and that particular dissolve was done by Mrs. Maniratnam, then just Hasini Hasan, and me in our Eldams Road, and I was pushing the aperture back and forth to music. And that's when you see the painting turn to life and I walk in. So there is a lot of in-camera effects that surprises you in Appu Raja. And Mr. Singeetham and I both spoke the same language. And it was easy for us to flip from one to another. For example, there is this flashback of Appu's father who's tied to a chair and he screams. That starts from Appu's face. He slowly grows a mustache and he goes into a scream. That was done in camera.
Wow.
So that's how precise we were. That's how good we were with that. So we kept extending the borders. And we have the same question Nagesh asks when they bring Appu instead of Raja. And he's hanging off their hand and he shot Appu and he says, Ayya, Raja pudichitom. And he turns and gives a jerk and says, Baki angada. It has happened to us many times in the camera. If we don't do it properly, Baki kanambadam. So we have to redo it again. It was very difficult doing it. As a matter of fact, many people used to sympathize with us. Why have you gotten yourself into this hole that you can't get out? So there are a lot of moments of happiness and satisfaction and pride in pulling off a magic trick smoothly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's part magic, part technology. A good magician will be able to explain some of the tricks about becoming a midget. A good film technician will be able to explain some of how it was done. Both put together what made Appu Raja.
Thank you. I just want to thank the Pinkvilla team as well for.
Thank you.
Raja Parve for us.
We have done it. We have done it, and we brought Mr. Barun Mukherjee to celebrate him to Chennai, and you'll soon see it on the net or OTT also. But we want to celebrate. Raj Kamal is celebrating all its DPs, cinematographers and directors. We started the first one by calling it Apurva Sangeetam. And we brought a young man and he answered all our questions like I am answering. And people who were asking questions were already established technicians who thought they knew everything till Sangeetam spoke.
Perfect, sir. On that note, thank you so much. And sir, before we wrap up, just one thing I wanted to know. You have done so many Hindi origin films, be it Chachi 420, Sadma, Ek Duje Ke Liye, and so many more. Can we expect you in an outright Hindi film? I know it is all Indian now, but still.
That's what I'm convincing Mr. Mani Ratnam to do with Thug Life. We're halfway through it, but I think I can convince him. Let's see. That happens. That will be a unique experiment where after midway we decide to make it in another language. And let's see. I can't speak without his collaboration. So that is, and there are many things. I think now, thanks to telecommunication, OTT, the nation is coagulating into one. So language is not a big problem now. And cinema has its own language. So you can't now anymore parochially divide cinema into 22 parts. It's all one part, and you'll understand. That's why Chaplin works for a boy from Paramakudi. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely speaking to you. It was an honor to have this conversation.
Thank you.
Guys, don't forget to watch Indian 2, Hindustani 2 in Hindi in cinema halls on 12th July. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.